Good. Take two. Good morning. Welcome to the Tripped Out Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning, presented in part by Michael Scott Insurance. For those of you in the great state of Michigan who don't have insurance, give them a call right now. That number, 810-985-3211. That is 810-985-3211. Thank you to Michael Scott Insurance for being a sponsor of our program. Cole Johnson will join me here in just a few minutes, but I've been debating on where to start today. I've been debating on how to handle this. So James Harden played last night. I beg your pardon, in his home debut in Philadelphia. And of course, everybody goes nuts. Everybody loves James Harden and Joel Embiid, except the mainstream media. Now, why am I saying this? Because it seems, let me get my tablet here. It seems that people are forgetting that Joel Embiid is the centerpiece. They get the shiny new toy in James Harden, and everybody is just going crazy. You want to highlight his stats, but you don't want to highlight what Joel Embiid did. I see this a mile away, and you're not going to get me to drink the Kool-Aid. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I am not convinced that James Harden is the missing piece that Philadelphia needs. I am not convinced of that. And why am I not convinced of that? Well, it's pretty simple for me. It's because I haven't seen James Harden prove anything beyond the month of April. That's why. That's exactly why. And I really don't care. Now, let me say this. Would I like to be proven wrong? Absolutely. I would love to be proven wrong. I would absolutely love to be proven wrong. But I just don't see it, man. You would like to believe. You would like to believe that this is it for Philadelphia. This is the missing piece that they need, especially after all of the Ben Simmons drama. But, Cole said it best. You're swapping problems. You're swapping problems, man. And I just don't think James Harden is going to rise up the way that he needs to rise up when the playoffs get here. You can have all of the great regular season stats that you want, okay? But given the fact that this is a performance league, given the fact that everything, well, let me back up a little bit. There are two things that the NBA especially loves: stars and stats. You're getting both with James Harden and Joel Embiid. More so James Harden, because now that James Harden's in Philadelphia, and now that James Harden is actually trying to play every day, they don't care about Joel Embiid. They don't care that Joel Embiid held this team together in the midst of the Ben Simmons drama. They don't care. They don't care that Joel Embiid was actually there for this team. Now, did Joel Embiid trip a few times? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But he seems to have gotten it together. And the question that I had about Embiid, which glossed over a lot of people's heads, was if Joel Embiid was actually going to put it all together. I actually made a post on social media that said, Will Joel Embiid figure it out? When I posted that question, I got obliterated. I got obliterated for that question. And everybody came at me with all sorts of stats and all sorts of splits. And that wasn't even where I was going. That wasn't where I was going. Where I was going was in his head. Has he figured out that he can be one of the most dominant centers in the league today? And it seemed like he was finally getting it. It seemed like he was finally getting it. If you look at this year, he was finally putting it together. And I mean that. He was finally putting it together. And now my partner, Cole Johnson, joins me. Good morning, sir.
Top of the morning to you, sir.
Why do people, okay, I began with a statement that's going to, of course, piss a lot of people off, but I don't care. And it goes like this. The mainstream media doesn't care about Joel Embiid anymore because of James Harden. Because of James Harden, all the progress that Joel Embiid has made is going to disappear. Now, am I wrong?
You get the impression that the media treats James Harden as this new toy.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly the impression.
And I say that because you have this new toy, but the old one actually entertained you quite well. So you have this new toy, you focus on it so much, and you are so dismissive to the old toy. And I don't understand that at all.
I'm getting all the graphics together also. I did all this last night.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I have the one that I need. Yep, there we go. Now, as I said, the mainstream media is treating James Harden like, how did you put it?
They just treat him like he's a dismissed old. Oh well, they're treating Embiid like a dismissed old toy, and they're treating James Harden like a new toy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like it's a toy that we all opened up on Christmas morning, and
Yep.
it's
Yep.
it's frightening because you look at it in this manner. So you have Embiid, who is an MVP candidate, but in his past, he's only been a contender once.
Mm-hmm.
In Harden, he's been a multiple year MVP candidate, and he's won the award, and he won it 4 years ago. And it almost seems as if the mainstream media is playing a game called Follow the Name. You know,
Yep.
you know which name means more, and it's grossly unfortunate that in media cachet, not in sports, and not to the 76ers, but in mainstream media cachet, it's Harden is the name that you follow. Embiid and every other name you can mention are afterthoughts.
Mm-hmm. Because when I got the alert last night that Philadelphia won, who's the player whose stats was put up first?
Oh, Harden, because he came close to triple double. It was his first time in. It was his first time in Philly as a Sixer. And we had to see how the new kid on the block was going to do, and he shined brightly as the Sixers beat the Knicks a second time in 3 days.
And in 4 words, I rest my case. I rest my case. Because
I'm
everybody
sorry.
is going to go ballyhooing about James Harden and not remember the fact that who held this team together last year in the midst of the Ben Simmons drama?
Oh, it was definitely Embiid.
Last year and most of this year. Answer that for me, please.
Oh, no question. No question. It was Joel Embiid.
And why is he being tossed to the side? Why is he being tossed to the side?
It's like like I said, new kid on the block, shiny new toy. This is something, this is something that we want to see because
I don't want to see it.
He looks so paltry, only 106 miles to the northeast, and now he seems renewed and reinvigorated and motivated.
Yeah, right.
And people are just simply drinking the Kool-Aid, saying, "Well, look, this is, all of you saying that Harden being a Sixer is going to be bad. Look at these first 3 games.
3 games.
And all I have to say to that is, it's true to form. It's true to form.
3 damn games.
Yeah.
3
games in 6 days. So this small sample size, and actually the rest of the regular season is a small sample size.
It sure is.
But a crumb size of Embiid Harden partnership, and we're getting things such as Harden's career has been resuscitated. We're getting 76ers are contenders, and we're getting from even some media analysts that the Sixers will win it all. Bump the Bulls, bump the Heat, bump the Bucks, bump the Warriors,
the Suns, the Warriors, the Grizzlies, the 70. They want the 76ers or the Nets to win it all.
Now, the only reason why I would want the 76ers, the only reasons I should say that I would want the 76ers to win the title is I have an affinity for 76ers fan. Love them. I've always loved them. Always. And
but see, the 76er fans that we both know honor the past.
Yeah.
And remember the past.
They remember it too, yeah.
See, the 76ers in 1982-83 received a shiny new toy by the name of Moses Malone, who actually, his career was already on track. It just got better when he got to Philadelphia.
Yeah, remember, he already won the MVP twice before he became a 76er.
In Houston.
Yeah, and people gloss over that. Yeah.
Yep. And he won the MVP in 83. He won the finals MVP.
And 76ers fan, let me say this to you right now. I've been on record as saying the 1986 Celtics is the best team I've ever witnessed in the NBA history. 83 76ers top 5 at worst for me. At worst. And I mean of all time.
Bingo.
Because there wasn't a team that was constructed in that time period that was going to even lay a finger on them. And you knew it when they tipped off first game of that season. You knew it.
Yep. Absolutely. You absolutely knew it. And the best part is they went out and proved it.
Yeah.
This wasn't a mid-season deal. This was a deal made before the season began because the Sixers figured out we got beat the hell up on the boards.
We got beat up down low.
We got beat the hell up on the boards. So let's fix that.
We got to shore that up.
So let's fix that.
And they get to me the best offensive rebounder in the history of the game.
Every visiting PA announcer hated to call the name Moses Malone.
And he showed out. And the reason why they hated it was because they knew there was no stopping him.
There was no stopping. What did Bill Russell say? Train leaves the station on time. Train leaves the station on time.
Yeah. So yeah.
And in the finals, good Lord.
Yeah, yeah. It's all about save the best for last in performance. Ooh,
In
man.
game four, in the clincher, in the closeout, on the road. On the road. 24 points, 23 rebounds.
I mean that.
Nate Ward. Oh man, the comments are flying in. Let me get Nate Ward
Go
here.
ahead, bro.
Tossed to the side because of people being ungrateful for who he is. His talents are being taken for
You can
granted.
say it again, Nate. Yes.
Nate Ward, my homie up in Michigan City, the fan base is becoming too comfortable with him. What did I say a couple of years ago about the 76ers becoming too comfortable? After they, in fact, I said it 2018 when I was going through hell in a handbasket in Dayton, Ohio. The Sixers became too comfortable then after they won that first round series. And since then, they've looked the part. Way too comfortable. The new toy gets played with and played with. Speak it, Nate.
Yes.
Speak it, Nate.
And it's heavily apparent, man. You already have this team built around a guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do.
Why why
It's
why would you want to mess that up? I'm not and look, and I'm not saying that James Harden is a talent. I'm not
right,
saying
right,
that
right.
James
We're
Harden
not
wouldn't fit on the
saying
team.
James Harden is not talented. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not what we're. That's
Yeah.
not what we're saying at all.
Yeah.
That's not what we're. That's not what we're saying at all. What
And
we're
I'm
saying is the talent on the team is being promoted the wrong way. Okay, what we're saying is prove it in April and beyond. That's what I opened the show with. Prove it in April and beyond. Okay.
oh yeah, and to that person that was saying, well, it's crickets about Harden working in Philly, and I said to myself, it's right on schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Great regular season player. He disappears like Houdini in the playoffs.
Yep.
He'll do it again. I've seen this story far too many times up close and personal.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't anything that I've seen of his game that has changed my tune from that yet.
I haven't seen it either. I haven't seen it either. We got to go to a break, but when we come back, we got more of your Thursday sports talk on the best sports show on radio, the best sports show on internet radio. Hell, the best sports show around. This is Snowman in the Morning on the OnTap Podcast Network, Real Wise Radio, and Arena Sportsnet, presented by Michael Scott Insurance. Back in a flash. Man, the comments have been flying in. Cool McCain joining us this morning, saying the Sixers just wanted to dump Ben Simmons. Most didn't want the contract, so they got what they could. Truthfully, Harden better show up in the playoffs, but history says he won't. Do you detect any lies in that statement, Mr. Johnson?
Let me look. Let me see if I can comb it. Okay, I'm looking at each syllable, each punctuation. No, can't find any.
None. No lies there.
No lies told on that one.
And Nate Ward poses this question: can the Bulls make a deep playoff run? Can they possibly win it all? Nate,
yes,
I will answer that. Let's dive in with the Chicago Bulls. I'll answer both questions with 2 words. Hell yes.
Yes to both. Yeah, yes to both.
They can make a deep playoff run and they can win it all. They have the team there. They're just injured right now. They're just injured.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. They're injured.
Yeah. They're talented. They have the number one guy. They rally around the number one guy. So there's so there's no chemistry issues. The chemistry's there.
Man,
the people are playing their roles perfectly. That's the only thing for me that will prevent the Bulls from winning a championship this year is the injuries that they have amassed.
Yeah. And I'd rather go through the injuries now than in April and beyond. I mean, they're missing 5 players, totally. 5 key players due to injury. Okay.
Totally.
And you figure, and they're still within a game and a half to 2 games of Miami.
That's the
they
scary
are
part.
Beat up, and they're still within 2 games of Miami.
Just imagine if they were healthy.
What did I say yesterday? There is time for this Bulls team to come back and snatch the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Because they're due to get on a roll. All right? They're due to get on a roll.
It's there.
You know what? You know what a stat that someone threw at me? Because I've been touting the Bulls all year. Okay. Cole and I had a discussion before the season began. And before he and I came together as partners on the radio, and I love you, Cole Johnson, my brother. Thank you for accepting this, and thank you for being a big part of the program. I love you. I love you so much.
I love you too, bro.
Thank you for believing in this project, and thank you to the folks that are commenting, that are watching, that believe in this project, that truly believe in this project.
Yeah, you all awesome too. Yeah.
Y'all are great. Y'all are great. And I know the numbers are going to increase the more consistent we get with the video. And why don't I see your face this morning, Cole? What's up with that?
We have to preserve the handsomeness, man. Have to preserve the handsomeness.
So you were in front of a mirror like yesterday, straightening the hair out.
Yes,
sir.
Like
we teased about yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Because I did the same thing. Mm-hmm. I did the same thing. I shocked my mother when I was 21 because my friend Alex took me to get my ear pierced. And what's the first earring I walk in the house with? Chicago Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Nate Ward, difference between the Bulls and 76ers, they play their roles perfectly. Damn right.
Yeah, they do.
Cool McCain doesn't feel like anyone wants the top seed in the East.
Mm-hmm.
That's wrong. The Bulls want that top seed. Miami wants that top
I was
seed.
going to say, I think the Bulls and Heat want
Milwaukee wants that. Milwaukee's trying to come for that top seed. The only one of the top four that I think is going to fall by the wayside, and this is no disrespect against their talent, this is youth, is Cleveland.
Yeah, and that's the only reason
it's why. Cleveland. They're young.
Yeah.
They're a hell of a team, but they're young.
They are.
Okay? Yeah. They're a hell of a team, but they're just young. Same about the Bulls. But see, what's scary about the Bulls, they play together.
And
they play together.
And it's funny you're talking about top seed in the East. Thank you, Cool, for that. Now who people are going to clamor as the top seed in the East going into mid-April, considering how we have seen this team play the last 3 games. Now everybody's going to say, well, the top seed
it's going to be the Sixers. And it's not. The stat, before I got sidetracked, the stat that I wanted to bring up that people love throwing in my face, and Cool McCain makes a great point about the top seed in the East. No one is pulling away. You're right. That's how ultra competitive it is. And it's ultra competitive in the West for the top seed. Even though Golden State trails Phoenix by 6 games, there's too much time remaining. There is too much time left.
It's still got about 5 weeks or so,
to get the top seed. And the people want to bring in my face, and third time I want to try to make this point. 2-13 against teams over 600. Okay, listen to me carefully. You saw that BS?
I saw that.
2-13 against teams over 600. You know, I am going to say, remember 1989 when it seemed like the Bulls would not be one of the top 3 seeds, and yet they beat 2 of them. Before they lost to the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Final. There's a comment I'm going to put up by Nate here in a moment.
They beat the Cavs and the Knicks en route to their first
first ever Eastern Conference Final was 1989. They played in the conference final, but it was in the West in 1975.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
I have game 1 of that East Final in its original broadcast form, and Brent Musburger did the opening. And they showed a shot of Doug Collins and Jim Durham watching that final shot by Johnny Newman sail off to the right, and then everybody explodes. I love that.
Thank you, Nate.
What about Bron saying that he wants to play with his son? Is his son that caliber? I'll get to that next segment. So Nate, stand by for that. Cool McCain, again, I do agree with the top candidates in the East. There are 4 of them. Milwaukee, Chicago, Miami, Cleveland. The 2 strongest right now are Miami and Chicago. You know what's scary? No one predicted the Bulls to get this far, and they may even have a 50-plus win season on their hands. There's 16 games over 500.
What I find interesting about the East is that no one coming into the season talks about the Heat nor the Bulls.
Nor the Bulls. And who are the top 2 seeds in the East? The Heat and the Bulls.
And the thing is, we should have seen it from the Bulls coming from the standpoint of you have a top tier talent in DeMar DeRozan, who yes, he is one of the front runners for MVP this year.
And should be.
And you've seen an elevation of Lonzo Ball as a point guard in that aspect.
You've seen an evolution of Lonzo Ball as a point guard. And I will put 2 reasons behind that. 1, he got the hell out of LA and New Orleans because they expected so much from him. And 2, he finally has the right teammates around him. Oh, bonus point, he got away from his dad. Oops.
No, LeVar's cool. I have no issue with LeVar.
But I love LeVar. But at the same time, and kids want to do this.
Let's get this understood. LeVar is cool, but every young man needs to assert his independence.
That's where I was going.
Yeah.
That's where I was going.
Yeah.
But yeah, no one expected Miami nor Chicago
Yeah.
to be the top two seeds in the East, and
Mm-mm.
that's where they are right now.
Yeah, because the
And
talk
I
was
love it.
the Bucks, the Celtics. I mean, of course, they didn't even mention Cavaliers. We thought that they were going to still
Be at
circle
the
bottom of
bottom.
the drain. Yeah,
Be at
but
the bottom. But
but the talk
this
was saying,
Cavalier team,
yeah, oh,
mm,
they're going to be problems in the year 2-3 years from now because that
yeah,
team is
they're going
stacked
to
with
be
talent.
there are going to be so many problems with Cleveland, just like there's going to be so many problems with Chicago in the years to come.
But the talk
DeMar
is
DeRozan was supposed to be a Laker.
right,
DeMar DeRozan was supposed to be a Laker.
and
The Lakers wouldn't give him 3 years.
and the part I love about that is I know Lakers fan is saying, man, we should have had DeMar. Why do we have to
They're
get
saying
Anthony
that, and
Davis?
they are saying that now.
Mm-hmm.
They are saying that now. Nate Ward, I was a Bull critic at first, but they have been starting to really come into their own styles and talent. Even the guys in the G League, that's going to be scary because you know what it provides the Bulls? Depth,
Depth. Mm-hmm.
depth,
Depth.
lots of depth.
Depth in the future. Yeah.
The
And
future for the Bulls is very bright. The
so
future for
that
the Cleveland Cavaliers
is
is
bright
very
too.
bright.
So that tells you that that this season the Bulls are having is no fluke. It's no
And it's
fluke.
the first, and it'll be the first of many.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be
No
the
fluke.
first of many.
But funny,
Hey,
coming into the year, we were talking about the Bucks, the
yep.
Celtics,
hmm
the Nets, and the Sixers. They were going to be the ones to compete for the Eastern Crown, and only is the Bucks and the Sixers, and only because with the Sixers they ended up having an MVP type season from Embiid, and now the talk is more them being the number one seed because of Harden's presence on the team.
Look
But
at this.
even with
Look
that,
at this.
Heat and the
Look at
Bulls.
this. LeBron would have screwed DeRozan up. Damn straight.
Uh-oh.
Damn
I think
straight.
I think I heard a mic drop.
hmm I'm so glad DeRozan is a Bull, and I'm so glad DeRozan is showing out and keeping that Bull together. Keeping that Bulls team together. Because no one in the future, I believe, is going to touch the Bulls. I still believe they can get the number one seed in the East.
I mean,
I still believe that.
they're only a game and a half away from it now. And
Yeah,
yeah, they can still get there.
I believe they can get the number one seed in the East. And there's 5 weeks left in the season. Got to head to a break, but I want y'all to pay attention and look at your favorite podcast outlet because Speaking Our Truth with Snowman and the Ice Queen is coming soon. It's unfiltered, it's unscripted, it's a lot of fun, it's a lot of laughter, and we talk about a stigma that should not be a stigma, but unfortunately, due to society, it is, and that's mental health. Been there, done that, still doing that. Back in a flash, and there is something that I must do when y'all get back. Talks about history. He helped you fix your first flat. He was the best backyard DJ around. And every time he tells a story, he's owned the room. Now we'll never make the room. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect. And the time of connection has never been more important. There is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely. Connect with the library so that years from now, future generations have that same the man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at storycorpconnect.org/AA. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. Message from AARP, StoryCorps Connect. Williams Hardwood Specialist offers all types of flooring. We specialize in sports floor resurfacing and installation. We also offer concrete resurfacing and epoxy overlays. Whether it's a small home with 2 bedrooms or a home the size of Michigan City's gym, Williams Hardwood Specialist is the way to go. If you need some hardwood flooring done or redone, give Williams Hardwood Specialist a call at 219-221-1221 I was afraid. Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning. This portion brought to you by the new podcast, Speaking Our Truth with Snowman and the Ice Queen. It's unfiltered, it's uncensored, it's fun, and it's very informative. Beginning March 11th and every Friday, a new episode drops. Let's just get back to this.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronzexual Confessions.
Well, we all know when LeBron's going to retire. It'll be when he plays a year, excuse me, with his son. You egotistical maniac.
Well, he has to have his final glory. He wants to do like what Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. did in Seattle.
But that's different. That's different. For the simplest of reasons, Ken Griffey Sr. could still play. Ken Griffey Sr. taught Ken Griffey Jr. the ropes of baseball. The kid just took it over in Seattle. Come on.
Okay.
Try again.
Are you going to say to these Bronzexuals that LeBron can't play?
I reserve comment. I reserve answer to that question for right now. I reserve comment for right now. Actually, no, I don't. If this year hasn't taught you anything, Bronzexuals, then you are really glossing over the big picture. And I hate saying this in advance. And I really hope it doesn't happen. But a year with LeBron and Bronny, dear Lord.
And no, not the gloss that you wear on your face, Bronzexuals.
No. That frightens me. And that should frighten Bronny.
Well, okay.
I mean, if I was a professional athlete and I had a son who was being highly recruited, I'd step away and be daddy. F that. I want to see my son grow up and be better than me.
Okay, so I understand why you would say it's bad for Bronny. I totally understand that. I mean, should the you can get into the league at 18 still not apply when he gets in the league? So I understand a 19-year-old, you really don't want to be around your father in the professional aspect. So I get that.
Hell no. No.
So let's see. So I think LeBron will be 39, 40. I think by the time Bronny will be 19.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm telling you, man, LeBron, it is straight up like he really is, as he admitted, chasing ghosts. Because I think part of him wants to, now I understand, I think part of him, because he saw Bronny possibly being able to play in the NBA, he looked at that and he said, you know what? My idol played until 40. I think I want to play until 40, and that's a good benchmark for me, and that's a good reason why. Along with the fact that he wants to amass 40,000 points in a career.
Nate Ward, I will answer your question. Is his son even that caliber? No.
I'll let you answer that. I was about to say, I'll let you answer that question.
Hell no. And the same thing is happening to Bronny that happened to his father. And Bronny's barely a freshman.
Oh Lord, not the chosen prince.
He's being shoved down our throat. Bronny is being shoved down our throat the same way Bron was. Again.
That's a good point,
What
Cole.
in the absolute hell? This is a great point. LeBron not leaving till he played with Bronny. That will ensure Bronny gets drafted. Yeah. Cool McCain, I counter with a question. And I know this is the old hat speaking. I know this is the old school speaking, but I don't care. I counter with this question. What if he's not good enough to be drafted? LeBron's going to ensure that he's drafted by playing with him. And it doesn't matter the team.
Well, then there is the free agency. And I'm sure that will. I already have this. Understood how it would work. So this is how LeBron would do it. LeBron would say, "Look, I would want to play on your team for 1 year. Here is the red flag. I will not play for your team unless you sign my son to a contract."
Yeah. LeBron reminds me of that guy that wants to create his own nickname and not go with the name others gave him.
Well, he created a nickname. This is funny you say that, Nate. He created his own nickname.
Yeah, he did. He did. Now he wants to get away from it. It's always the Euro League. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Nate.
See, but this is the thing. So this is supposed to be a heartwarming thing. You have a father and son play. I have to think long and hard.
The Jameses are not the Griffeys. I'll repeat your point from earlier in this Bron sexual confession.
And I would never say that they are. But you know, it's a heartwarming thing. You have father and son playing. I can't think of too many fathers and sons playing in the NBA. But it's wonderful. It's a good look for LeBron because he can get a little bit of rub from the generation that's coming up next. So he won't be looked upon as so old like he is now. And so it checks all the boxes in terms of going out the way he'd want to go out, you know, and he could say, well, and I guarantee you, LeBron wants to be the type to say, put my career against anybody else's. I dare you. I dare you to have a career that matches mine.
Okay. Michael Jordan did it in 13 and a half seasons.
No. I'm not even talking about stats. I'm talking about legacy. And I'm not even talking about on the court legacy at all. I'm talking about the whole total package.
All right. Michael Jordan did it in 13 and a half seasons.
Because the things that anybody could throw, it would be countered with something. So Jordan did it in 13. LeBron did it in more than 20.
Who cares?
Unfortunately, too many.
The impact in 13 and a half seasons outweigh 20. That's just me.
Okay.
That's just me. And Dietz will join me at 920 poses. Wouldn't that hurt Bronny's chances of getting drafted if you have to sign a 40-year-old LeBron playing with him? Yep.
You would think. But this is LeBron James we're talking about here. Who
cares? I'm sorry.
Well, unfortunately, all 30 NBA teams do. Yeah, I know.
Bronny's a junior. I'm sorry. He got scouts talking about he is a second rounder right now, but he could grow and is really a combo guard who doesn't have the same thing as father, who has the same problem that his father.
Yeah.
No consistent jump shot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cool.
He's a second rounder.
Yeah, I know. Brian's a junior now, and I'm not sure if it's stricken from the books that an 18-year-old can go straight from high school to pros yet. So I'm thinking it's about 3 years before he gets into the NBA.
Yeah.
So LeBron's 37 now. He'll blow his birthday candle to number 40 around the time when Bronny will be on the team. And to answer your question, Dietz, you would think so logically, right? But this is LeBron James, who unfortunately is one of the greatest power brokers, whether we like him or not, whether we understand it or not, whether we want to agree with it or not. He's one of the biggest
Yeah.
power brokers as a player the NBA has ever had. And in certain cases, the biggest. And he could do such a thing. Like, for example, people are saying, well, the Lakers should trade LeBron. You know what that fool would do? I'm telling you. Because people say, well, LeBron doesn't have a no trade clause. You're right, he doesn't. But you know what he can do? Ginny walks up to him and says, congratulations, LeBron. You're no longer a Laker, you're a Rocket. That dude would say, I am retired.
I'm out. He'd say, I'm out in a blink.
So he could steer the Lakers to where he would want to be traded.
Best father-daughter combo, Bryant's. Yep.
Man, that hurts.
And I miss Kobe.
That hurts my heart seeing that, man, because I wanted to see Gigi cook bad.
I'd actually pay to see Gigi cook, even though I plan to have a press pass around my neck, which is what I'll be working on. LeBron ain't even
not even close.
Kobe caliber.
Not even close.
You know, I get quote unquote roasted by bronsexuals all the time, saying, "How dare you put Kobe before LeBron?"
In the Lakers catalog, you definitely would put Kobe before LeBron. You'd be stupid not to. I put Kobe
before LeBron. I put Bob McAdoo before LeBron. I put James Worthy before LeBron. LeBron is not an all-time Laker.
Never.
Shut it up.
Never.
LeBron, to me, is not even an all-time great player. And I know people are going to be pissed at me for that, but I've said it consistently on this program, and I give two shits about what y'all think. Listen to me carefully. You want facts? The facts are these. LeBron has yet to prove himself in 19 years. LeBron has 4 championships in 10 tries. LeBron will never get back to the NBA World Championship Series. And I'll throw this statement out there. LeBron has ruined the NBA for 20 years.
Look, bronsexuals. I know that this last week has been absolutely gut-wrenching and heartbreaking for you. You've seen your beefcake come home L after L after L. You even saw Luka Doncic cook him in the fourth quarter in the last game.
Yeah, and this is the same Luka Doncic.
And you saw
that cooked the Warriors in the fourth quarter.
And you saw him so defeated when the Pelicans put the whooping on him. No, I'm talking about when you put the whooping on LeBron. I'm talking about when the Pelicans put the whooping on the Lakers. And so I know it's been hard for you, and I know you're beefing up. You're beefing up your sex toy skills. I know you wanted you wanted to be so good for him when he comes home. You're like, I know that's how you are, Bron Sessions. You're like, Daddy, I really want you to forget about how it is on the court. This is the only court that matters, the bedroom. I know that's how you are, bronsexuals. Understand
and
something.
They've been that way since 2002. Not 2003. 2002.
I really do want you to understand this, bronsexuals. This is a good, clear-cut indication of you can have a guy with we haven't seen this out of a 37-year-old, and it doesn't matter. So he scored 32 points in a game where his team lost by 28. Why does that even matter? Why? You have that 30-point effort, but it comes in an L and it comes in a blowout loss? Who cares? It's to the point.
It comes with a big time L.
And then memo to LeBron here. So make up your mind. So if a fan talks trash to you, either you want to kick him out or you want to show him up. Which one is it? Because you can't have it both ways, although you think you can.
You think it would go in one end and come out the other. I mean, and Cool McCain just ended this perfectly. Drinking the salty juices. You know what, bronsexuals? You can continue to drink them.
That's right.
I'm not impressed. I never have been impressed. People will throw his stats at me. I don't care. I can throw stats right back at you that will make LeBron's look even more bloated than they are now. And yes, I said it. LeBron's stats, especially lately, are bloated. Because how the hell can you celebrate? And this is what bronzosexuals do. How the hell can you celebrate a 32-point performance in a blowout loss in your own joint? How can you celebrate that? How can you be so stupid to not see what the big picture is?
And cool.
How can you be so stupid?
Yeah, and cool. To your point, which I love, you know how bronzosexuals are thinking, man. They're thinking, it tastes great and it's less filling.
Because he changed lives with his 100 millions follower. Look at his stats, his swag, his skin. Get the fuck out of here. Get the absolute out of here with that mess.
Gosh.
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty. Good Lord, I'm about to throw up. This has been yet another installment of The Bronzosexual Confessions.
Man, Nate hitting us with some bombs, dude. And yes,
And
I agree
love
with
it.
your point. I love it too.
And I love it.
And 100.
Same
bro.
thing with Westbrook.
100.
All those triple doubles for what? What ring? Absolutely.
All I gotta say to that is 100. Yes, I've been
The
saying
super
that for a
producer
long time.
Super producer Clark Monroe joining us from Saskatchewan. Thank you.
What's up, brother?
I mean, you know what? Let me take a break because we can kill this until you have to go to your meeting and Chris Dietz joins me at 9:20.
All right.
We're going to eviscerate this Laker team. And when I say eviscerate,
Oh, yeah.
once we get going, we ain't going to stop. So I'm going to take 180 seconds. Don't forget, we're presented by Michael Scott Insurance, and you can pick up the podcast on Odyssey and iHeartRadio. Back in 120 seconds. Hour 2 begins with an evisceration of the current Los Angeles Lakers roster. And I got to put this in 15 minutes because I lose Cole at the quarter part of the hour. But who the hell? No, I know the answer to this question. Let me try again. Why the hell did y'all sign Russell Westbrook knowing he was cooked, finished, done, finito, and has, outside of LeBron, the most bloated stats on the roster? Oh, did I drop the mic on that? Did I say all that aloud?
This is what happens when you have a player who wants to resurrect his summer rec league team.
Mm-hmm.
And you bypass the fact that you got people who, one, are as old as you, two, who has almost as much mileage as you do, and three, who has a similar game as you. How was it? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, man. What? I
think I lost him for a moment. A lot to be said, excuse me, about the heart of a warrior. A warrior's heart would fight until it is no longer beating. It won't give up on plays or flop around and cry foul.
That's 100, bro. 100.
While we discuss overrated players, allow me to introduce Chris Paul to the conversation. It's an unpopular opinion. Not with me, it ain't. I mean, I love you, Chris Paul, but
we'll touch on that.
We'll touch on a later date.
Yeah,
I will go in on Chris Paul.
All right, so riddle me this.
Yes.
What is one of the things that we hear people talk about LeBron James possessing a lot of?
Heart.
Not that.
No.
Not there. No.
Answer the riddle, please.
Okay. So they say that his basketball IQ is high, right? They say that
bullshit.
They say he's one of the smartest basketball players in the NBA history. Well, if that is the case,
I'll respond again. Bullshit.
If that is the case, then why would he not see that Russell Westbrook is a 6'3" version of LeBron James? Look, a blindfold, stuck in the basement, and sleeping Stevie Wonder could see that crap.
Ray Charles also, after a nap.
Lord.
You know, people are going to be mad at me for saying this. Hell, people have been mad at me for saying this for years. But Russell Westbrook peaked in 2016. Never mind the MVP season. Those are some bloated stats.
Well,
okay. And how far did Russell Westbrook get in the playoffs? In 2017.
He got to the first round and only won one game in the first round.
Thank you. How far did he get in 2018?
The conference said no. The conference front, no. The first round again.
And got dumped. Got dumped like, God, no. There's a comparison I should make, but I'm not going to make it here. I'll do it on the. I'll do it on the unfiltered. By the way, let me get this. Let me get this up here. Hey, you want some behind the scene? You want some behind the scenes stuff as well as some unfiltered talk? Then I suggest you join the Patreon. You'll see it at the bottom of your screen. Patreon.com/SIT morning. That's patreon.com/SIT morning. And donations via paypal.me/snowman2172 are truly appreciated. Got Chris Dietz coming in 15 minutes, so let's keep going. LeBron, Westbrook, Carmelo, Anthony Davis. What is wrong with this picture? That's all I have to ask. What is wrong with this picture?
Well, Carmelo never got beyond a poor man's Bernard King. And once once he became a guy who now could only fill in as a sixth man.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And he was lost, and he's not really a good sixth man. His game is basically meant to start, but he just can't contribute as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
And as a sixth man, he doesn't have the instant offense that's good enough to where he comes off the bench and he's going to drop buckets. Sometimes he does, most times he doesn't.
Yep.
And then there is the NBA's version of Mr. Glass. And I love Anthony Davis, but unfortunately that man.
I'm going to say 4 words. 4 words I thought I'd never put together about Anthony Davis. But in a 4-word sentence, Anthony Davis is done.
Anthony Davis is nothing more than a walking body cast. And I hate saying this. I'm not saying this as a joke. I'm not saying it funny. I'm not saying it.
No, not at all.
And I'm not even saying it as slander. It's just unfortunate that this guy who is talented,
very much so,
cannot stay on the court 60 games out the year. It's heartbreaking. One of the best two-way players we have in the game today, and he can't stay on the court for 2/3, if 2/3, forget 3/4 of a regular season in the NBA. And it's heartbreaking to see that.
It is. It's very heartbreaking because I had high hopes for Anthony Davis. After winning a national championship in New Orleans coming out of Kentucky. I had high hopes for Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
But your best ability is availability.
And unfortunately, Mr. Davis is not all that available.
Nope. Not all that available. And that's sad.
Mm-hmm.
That's horrible.
And speaking of sad,
it's horrible to say that.
It is. And speaking of horrible and sad, Dwight Howard.
Oh, God. Dwight Howard peaked in 2008.
And
2009.
2009. And then when Kobe dunked on him, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, that was all she wrote. All she wrote.
And here's what I have to say about Dwight Howard. His moment, and we can say, yes, multiple time defensive player of the year. He was a walking, talking double-double. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when he was invested in playing in younger, yes, he was. But I look at the first year that Howard was a Rocket, and he went back to the Staples Center. That's what it was called then.
Mm-hmm.
To play the Lakers. And after a timeout, Kobe's looking right at Howard because Howard got into it with a Laker big. And they had this first win of the timeout, and they came out of timeout, and Kobe's looking right at him. He's shaking his head, and he's saying, quote, soft, close quote.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot disagree with that.
I'm not disagreeing with that either. Nate Ward, that is all the Lakers players unavailable, not just with health, with heart.
Ooh, drop that mic.
Bam.
Drop that mic, Nate.
C. Wood, in fairness to Russ, who was the second best player on the 2016 team, talking about Oklahoma City, Oladipo, Steven Adams, young Domantas Sabonis. C. Wood, I love you.
Well, Durant was on that team in 2016. Don't forget.
Yeah, but they're not looking at him. It's the same situation in Philadelphia that it was with Oklahoma City in 2016. Same situation. Now, this Laker team should not be formed. And while everyone else is dropping mics, let me drop one of my own by saying if I was in charge of the Lakers and LeBron James came courting, I'd slam the door. No, we don't want you. You're going to ruin our squad. You're going to gut our squad. We saw what you did in Miami. We saw what you did in Cleveland. You're not doing it to us. We have young guys that are going to be better than you, that are going to play harder than you, and show more heart than you. Now get the hell out of my office.
You're breaking the hearts of many GMs across the NBA.
I'll repeat my sentence. And it goes like this. If LeBron were to come, if I were in charge of the Lakers and LeBron were to come calling, I'd slam the door and hang up the phone.
I know you have constantly said, quote, I'd release this today. Close quote.
Oh, yeah. There's another one. Thank you, Cole, for that. If I were in charge of the Lakers, I'd stand Carmelo, Westbrook, Anthony Davis,
Not all
and
four of
LeBron
them.
all in my office, and I'd release all their asses today. I'd release all their asses.
But they won't be able to get anything.
I'd release all their asses today, period.
But the Lakers won't be able to get anything in return.
That's the freaking point. They don't deserve anything in return. Thank you to the legendary Michael K for that statement. But I will say it again. Got 4 minutes before we have to go to a break and Cole has to go to his meeting. I'd bring all four of them in. Okay, and Stephen A. Smith, you can challenge me whatever you want. Shaquille O'Neal, with your ridiculous statement, you can challenge me anytime you want. But I'd bring all four of them in. Albatross contracts and all. And in their face, I'd tear them up. I'd tear them all up. And Michael K., thank you again for this sentence. I'd release all their asses today. Period. I'd rather have a beat up Derrick Rose than Russell Westbrook.
So
and it wasn't even supposed to be Russell Westbrook. It was supposed to be Buddy Hield.
Oh, yeah, Buddy Hield. Yeah. So
and it wasn't supposed to be Carmelo Anthony. It was supposed to be Mar DeRozan.
So you mean to tell me that you want to go back to the days where you had 300 people parked outside of 100 people parked outside of the Staples Center, Crypto.com Arena, and protesting ownership / general managership changes because the team is so horrible?
Yep. I take the chance because I want my team to compete. I want my team to win.
You are so petty. I love it though.
I want my look. The late Bobby Bowden said it best in 1988. I want to win. I want somebody to win these games. I want somebody that has some heart, that has some availability.
Oh, and yeah,
Frank Vogel, you're fine. Okay. Yeah. No one playing at the end of the game for the Lakers is a true closer. That's why they got their ass kicked Sunday night against New Orleans. And then Luka Doncic, a true closer, closed out the Lakers after the Lakers came all the way back and took the lead. Dumbasses. Yes, I'd release I'd kick them all out. I just turned on my NBA 2K. I picked the Lakers and I let all of them go from my roster. Instant contender. Thank you, Nate Ward.
He said let all of them
go. I'll say it again. I'll say it again. I'd release all their asses today, period. Doesn't matter if Carmelo Anthony can score the basketball. And this is for Trey Larkins. Doesn't matter if Carmelo Anthony can score the basketball. Doesn't matter if Anthony Davis is a great rim protector. Doesn't matter if Russell Westbrook is a walking triple-double, which is a lie. That's a lie.
You rolling now.
Which is, I'm cooking. Russell walking triple-double. That's a lie. And real basketball fans know that's a lie. Because every triple-double that Russell Westbrook has recorded in his NBA career has been bloated. He pushes teammates out the way. He tells his teammates, let me get the rebounds and the assists. And then there's LeBron James.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't even say anything to him. I'd bring him in the office. I'd hand him his pink slip and say, get the fuck out of my office and off my organization.
He is the greatest
out of my organization.
LeBron James is the greatest player of all time.
That's some grade A homogenized Holstein bullshit, and you know it. You lighten me up, don't you? So I can just go all the way in, right? I think this will be Cole's final
Yes.
shot before he goes to his meeting. But you know
It
what? I
is.
love it. I do
It
it to
is.
my partner, and he does it to me, and the
Yes.
fans do it to me also. Let me go to a break, and let me get this up. Let me get this up here. Let me go to a break. Cole, thank you so much. We'll do it again tomorrow,
All
and I
right,
get you
brother.
the whole two. I get you the full 2 hours tomorrow. I can't
Yes,
wait
sir.
for that. I can't wait for that. You go ahead and take off. Chris Dietz will come at 9:20, and we'll be back after this break. Thank you, Cool McCain, for catching that. We're going to go to a break, and I'm going to get deets on via video. So let me do this. Wait a minute. I'll stay here. I'll stay here. Cool, can you hear me now? Please say yes. Can you hear me okay now? Lost audio. Nate, can you hear me now? That's why I did that's exactly why I did the video link. Doggone it. Yes, okay. Okay. So all my guests from now on will either come through a separate phone line or will come through the video link. And thank you guys for catching that. Because usually Chris Dietz calls in, but now that I am currently using my phone to do StreamYard, which is good, but I have to remember everyone has to go through the video link. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to take a pause for a break, and we'll get Dietz back up here, and we will continue our conversation. Thank you guys for catching that. Thank you guys for catching that. I really, really appreciate it. And that's the problem. I didn't send him the call-in link. All right. So let's take 180 seconds. We'll get this corrected, and we'll be back. Oh boy. Man, oh man, the things that go on in live radio. Welcome back. I'm gonna get Deets on the line here, and we're gonna continue our conversation. In fact, we're gonna restart it and just go from there. Doggone it. Maybe not. Well, let me see what I can do to correct this. Listen, Bronny James is not going to be a good basketball player. Okay? He's not. He's not. Deets, you're going to have to see if you can ring back in. He's not even the best player on his own team. Oops. Did I say that aloud? Yeah, I sure did. He's not even the best player on his team. And yet the same thing is happening to Bronny that happened to LBJ. And that thing is the hype train is being ridiculous. I swear to God, the hype train is being ridiculous. And you know what the crazy part is? It's the same thing that we saw before 20 years ago. All LeBron James could do back then was dunk. His jump shot wasn't consistent. His footwork wasn't consistent. It's the same criticisms that I had about him then that I have now. It's not okay. It's not the best kind of basketball that fans like me want to watch. Now, I know fans like I are few and far between. I understand that. But at the same time, it's like everyone wants to focus. I said this before and I'll continue to say it. Fans of the NBA today are focused on two things: stars and stats. And it's ridiculous. What the hell ever happened to players leaving an impact on the game? That's why I like some of the players that I do, like, I don't know, Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. Like Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, like Kobe Bryant, like John Morant. Like, hopefully, DeAndre Ayton. You know, like that. Like, I don't know, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, perhaps. Players that leave an impact is the most important thing to me. And now I got Deets on the line. What up, Deets?
Look at that. Everybody gets to see my early morning mug.
Now, why is this hype train happening all over again like it did in 2002? Am I wrong?
Because everybody is trying to relive. Everybody's trying to remake everything that's already happened. I mean, Look at LeBron. This is LeBron's career.
Yep.
Remake everything that's already happened. Bronny already messed up Space Jam.
Yeah, he did.
Why not mess up the rest of what's going on? I mean, this is the exact script of the movie, of the LeBron version of Space Jam.
Yeah, it is.
LeBron going after his son and his son screwing up the rest of the latter part of the movie. This is it's entirely playing out to script, and
that's
again,
frightening.
If you're a team and you're going to draft this guy, if you're going to draft Bronny, even if Bronny is a good enough player, he has to.
Yeah, and that's a huge if. That's a huge if.
I mean, you're assuming that he is going to be the next, the next at least 10 years of your franchise.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're assuming. But you're going to have to put him up with enabling LeBron James, which you're going to have to pay an NBA minimum contract. I mean,
yep.
These are the things. It's not like LeBron gets to play for free.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like LeBron could say, "Hey, I'm going to come in. I'll take $1. I'll take $1. You don't have to pay my salary." No, you can't do it that. You can't do it that way.
No, you can't.
And you still have to pay you still have to pay the rest of your team.
And how's that going to work out when Bronny gets drafted and you have to pay both Jameses?
So it doesn't make any sense. To get what you're getting now. I mean, you have to get some kind of production out of it, other than the feel good moment of LeBron and Bronny playing a game together.
Mm-hmm.
Other than what happens after that if it's a train wreck?
Yeah, which is where I see this going. I see this being a total train wreck.
I mean, and you brought up the Griffey comparison earlier. The reason the Griffey comparison worked is because they were good.
Thank you.
It was because
and it's what I said earlier. Ken Griffey Sr. played quality baseball.
And
Ken Griffey Sr. played quality baseball.
The Mariners went from unwatchable to all of a sudden being watchable. Why? Because of not because Ken Griffey Sr. was good, because Ken Griffey Jr. was that good. Mm-hmm. And he was the attraction. And then and then Ken Griffey Sr. Oh, by the way, he plays next to his dad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I'm still reminded of a moment from the Griffeys in 1990, which I'll repeat in a moment. No one wants to make their own way, recreate everything. That's what makes Golden State so sexy. They have created their own thing. They are who they are. Absolutely correct, Nate. It's like I said about Stephen Curry, and I say it all the time. And Chris, you've heard me say it. You've been on this program with me. It's like Steph took an anomaly and turned it into a weapon. He took an anomaly and turned it into a weapon.
And to go back to that point, the remake is never as good.
No,
the remake is never as good as the original.
Yeah, Space Jam.
I mean,
okay, I don't need to say anymore.
Anything. Go look at anything. When people remake songs and sell them, they're never as good as the original. That's why you're remaking it. It's a hit classic. You know, when you remake any of these movies, I mean, the one that comes to mind, when you remake Halloween, it's not as good as the first time you saw Michael Myers. It's not. None of the remakes are as good as the original. And right. That's what you're getting. That's what you're going to get when you get Bronny and LeBron. You're going to get a watered down version. But again, going back to my reference and your reference of the Seattle Mariners, it wasn't about when you sign Bronny and LeBron. It's not going to be about. It's not going to. We were talking. It was about Ken Griffey Jr. coming into his own.
Yes.
The junior was. We were looking at it and saying, "Oh my God, the son is going to surpass the father." We saw that at some point. Is there any chance that Bronny is going to be better than LeBron James? No, there's no.
It's not even close.
So the story's going to be LeBron James for a year, and then the story's gone.
And it will never get, and they'll never get it back. You know, here's a reference. Nate Ward says Cecil Fielder and Prince Fielder were better. I don't see Bronny going first round. unless he has an incredible growth spurt, and I don't mean just physically, but basketball-wise, he's doing everything that his dad does, and it's about as mediocre as it gets. Sorry, I don't see Bronny succeeding in the NBA. He's not ready.
I mean, the question's going to be, and Cole brought this up when he was on the show earlier, are they going to lift the restrictions on college basketball? Are they going to lift them in time for this? And it wouldn't shock me if it was the season right before this happens.
Yeah.
And they say, "Oh my God, we need to get this done," because I'll tell you right now, if from the clips I've seen of Bronny play, and I haven't watched a full game, I haven't seen it in person. I live near Bronny to go check out high school basketball.
Right.
I'm not flying across the country to go check out high school basketball.
Exactly.
But from the clips I've seen, Bronny's gonna get destroyed if he goes to college.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Especially if he goes to, I don't know, Duke University, but they're going to be minus Coach Krzyzewski. If he goes to a big time college, he's going to get cooked. Period.
And that's good. I mean, where else would he go? I mean, UCLA, those kind of places, he's going to get toasted.
Mm-hmm.
The way I've seen him play right now, he's going to get ripped up playing that way all season long.
Yep.
And what is that?
And it's not team. And I'll make this point again. It's not team basketball. It's not. And if he wants to be a part of a team, he's got to play like it. And he's not. He's not.
And he'd have to go somewhere where he's willing to accept the coaching. I mean, when has
LeBron didn't because he came right, and LeBron didn't because he came right to the NBA.
When has that ever been LeBron? LeBron's always been the coach.
You crawled in my head and asked the very question I've been asking for 20 years. Has LeBron ever accepted coaching? The only time I saw that was when he was in Miami, and by that time he was 7-8 years in. And
even then, I mean, at the early, it had to be earned.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, LeBron, it wasn't right away. If you go back and look at those early Miami Heat teams,
yeah,
LeBron didn't respect Eric Spoelstra.
No, he didn't.
Until Pat Riley was like, "No, this is our coach, and we're sticking with him."
Mm-hmm.
There were times where LeBron talked about, we talked about getting rid of Spoelstra.
Yeah.
His people
I remember
talked about getting rid of Spoelstra until they won.
Mm-hmm.
And then after they won, and Pat Riley said, "No, we signed Spoelstra," and he had the blessing of Pat Riley. That's when LeBron said, "Well, I better get on board."
And it didn't last that long. It just lasted the 4 years that he was there. And the reason he bailed out, the reason he bailed the hell out is because a coach was in place that was willing to coach him, and he didn't want that. He did not want that.
A coach and there was
a GM that had order
they couldn't throw under the bus.
Right. And LeBron tried. People don't get it. LeBron tried.
Just a week ago, LeBron James was criticizing Rob Pelinka for the moves that he made. LeBron, you made the moves.
Exactly.
You went to Rob Pelinka and said, "Make these moves." He said, every other GM said, "No, this is a bad idea. Mm-hmm. No, we're not going to do that." All right, well, you're not going to be the GM. We'll get Rob Pelinka, and he'll make the moves I want him to make. And then what happens? That's why Magic Johnson just back the truck right over him.
And that's why Magic Johnson got the hell out of Dodge. That's exactly why Magic Johnson got the hell out of Dodge. Magic's, I'm not having this. I make the moves I want to make to try to improve our team, and then LeBron throws me under the bus. The hell with that. Magic Johnson saw the writing on the wall and said, F this, I'm out. Period. But again, see, everyone wants to blame Magic Johnson for running. I mean, why are you blaming Magic Johnson when Magic saw the writing on the wall in the form of the direction of where the team's going?
Well,
why?
Magic saw that everything that he put into the stew, everything that he was trying to boil into the stew, they were going to simmer out.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew it.
Mm-hmm. He knew it.
He drafted Lonzo Ball. He drafted Julius Randle. He drafted all the guys that they sent that
they sent to other teams.
Pelicans. All the guys that they've sent out. Magic saw, hey, wait, I drafted those guys. They're just going to get rid of them. Why should I stick around for this? That's what happened.
And he got the hell out.
Nobody wants to, nobody wants to give that blame to LeBron. It's everybody else's fault except for LeBron's.
Mm-hmm.
It's not LeBron's fault they got rid of these. They got rid of all the young guys. It's not LeBron's fault it is. They didn't do. And if you truly think that, if you think that the Lakers did any of these moves without
LeBron's
checking in with Rich Paul and company, I don't know what world you're living in.
Yeah,
the Lakers aren't doing anything behind LeBron's back. Everything's being done to his face with his blessing and saying, "Do you want to do this?" Now, whether LeBron takes it seriously or not, and whether he just goes, "Yep, do whatever you want," whether LeBron says that, there's none of these moves are being made without being thrown in front of him.
Yeah, exactly. And none of these moves are made without LeBron's blessing. None of these moves are being made because LeBron went to them and said, make these moves. And it's like I said, Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss are in charge in name only. That's it. They're in charge in name only. And nothing else matters. Winning certainly doesn't matter. You can see that. Winning certainly doesn't matter. So you got all this going on, and we're seeing a repeat of what happened in 2002.
And talking about LBJ and what he's bringing to the table. I mean, what are we talking about here? Because when is a season where Michael Jordan didn't make the playoff? Is LeBron in the Washington Wizards category yet? Because that's all I hear from LeBron James supporters of when I ask them, when did Michael Jordan stop winning championships? Oh, when he was starting to take over the team. It was no longer about LeBron. I mean, Michael Jordan didn't go to the Washington Wizards because he wanted to win a championship. He went there because he wanted to own the team.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sole reason he played for the Washington Wizards. It had nothing to do with with winning a championship.
And people don't see that.
So are we in that phase of LeBron James? Because LeBron James, if that's the LeBron James you're getting, he's not trying to win championships.
He's trying to own the team.
He's just trying to hold on to his career.
And he's also chasing ghosts. You said it at the top of this conversation. He's chasing ghosts.
He's never and guess what? He's never going to own the Lakers.
Right.
The Buss family's not selling any of that team.
Especially not to him.
No.
Especially not to him.
Not
Christie's joined me. Right. Christie's joins me as he does every single Thursday. What's on the Fifth Down Sports Show tonight?
Well, tonight we are starting our NFL draft coverage. And I kind of wanted to bring this up on the show here a little bit. We're going to expand on it, but there are 3 types of NFL draft analysts, and you need to be aware as a fan. You need to be aware of what you're getting.
Yeah,
and the 3 types are: you have the predictor, you have you have the educational draft prospect, and you need to know what you're getting. Are you getting, because are you getting somebody who's predicting the draft order, or are you getting somebody who's evaluating and making their picks? Okay? The predictor says, all right, this guy's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the order that they're going to go in.
Yeah.
And they're telling you where the guys should go. Nothing to do with team, nothing to do with fit, nothing to do with how that players progress. It's just
right.
It's just predicting.
Okay.
The evaluator is going to tell you, hey, this guy's a good fit for a 3-4 defense. This guy will fit come off the edge. This guy will fit as a 5 technique tackle. That's what the evaluator is going to take the team into aspect.
Yeah.
And then you have the last guy, which is the adjuster, which is it. There are many of them out there that will just throw names out there because they either have a relationship with said player or said player's agency. They're trying to push them up the draft board, push other guys down the draft board because they want that to happen. That exists in the pre-draft world. So you have to know what type you're getting.
True.
Now,
very true.
We try, that's why I try to get into that evaluator category because I don't try to predict. I don't try to predict the draft. I don't try to say, all right, this guy's going to go number 1 no matter who it is.
Yeah.
No matter what the team is, this guy's going to go number 1. That doesn't help anybody. I try to do it to my team. All right, this team is going to draft. I don't do like a mock draft. My mock draft is in the moment. I try to act like I'm the GM for every single team.
Yeah.
Hey, what would I do if I was the Houston Texans at 5? What am I gonna do?
Right.
Do I want to move up? Do I want to get this? And we're that's a lot of the NFL. You're not gonna get a lot of NFL draft talk on the big shows. You're not gonna get a lot of draft talk. Why? Because it's not a quarterback draft.
Exactly.
It's not a quarterback draft.
It's a weak quarterback draft. It's a weak quarterback class. Very weak.
And that's one thing that I've heard all ever since the Super Bowl. That's all anybody talks about. I've heard people say it's a weak quarterback draft. That's a good thing for these kids.
Yeah.
Because these guys coming in, I'll tell you right now, a weak quarterback, it'll be a weak quarterback draft in terms of name. But 3 or 4 years from now, you're going to look back at this and say, this guy was drafted in this class.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you that makes it, you're still going to have 4 or 5 first-round picks. They're just not going to be in the top 10. I mean, Tampa Bay is going to take a quarterback. Pittsburgh's going to take a quarterback. There are teams that made the playoffs last year that are going to draft quarterbacks. The quarterback picks are going to be there. They're just not going to be in the top 10. Why? Because last year half the top 10 drafted a quarterback.
Drafted a quarterback, yeah.
And they're all back in the top. They're all back in the top 10 again this year. You're not going to reload and go, all right, well, let's draft. I mean, the last time we saw a team draft back-to-back quarterbacks
was Arizona.
Arizona. Arizona
was Arizona because they drafted Josh Rosen, and then they went with Kyler Murray the next year.
So it's not so that's why you hear people say it's a weak quarterback draft. I think it's a good it's a very good quarterback draft if you get the right quarterback.
True.
If you get the guy that fits your system, it is a good quarterback draft. It's just not a deep quarterback. You know, you're not gonna you're not looking for somebody in the 5th or 6th round that's gonna. But you're never looking. You never look at the 5th or 6th round and say, "Hey, we're gonna
right."
5th or 6th round." You're looking to get a guy who you can say, "All right, if we can make this guy a starter, we've done our job."
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't work out, the 5th or 6th round is where, hey, you take a flyer, and if you get him and your starting quarterback breaks his ribs and he takes you to 9 Super Bowls and wins 6 of them, hey, I mean, not everybody's going to draft Tom Brady in the 6th round.
Right.
And that's where people are steering. They're steering their perception of this draft as, well, since they're not going in the top 10, it's the quarterback class is weak.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Sam Howell is a 23-year-old. I mean, he's not even 23 yet.
Mm-hmm.
This kid, he's barely a kid. And the things he did his freshman year, this is such a weird class.
Yeah.
Because we have COVID in between the middle of them.
Yeah.
I mean, you have what these guys did pre-COVID and what they did post-COVID. It's almost like
night and day.
Out. It's almost like, I mean, you have guys like Sam Howell. I already mentioned. You have guys like Derek Stingley, who was part of the reason why LSU was national champion. Derek Stingley was defensive player of the year as a true freshman.
Mm-hmm.
And then he takes the year off for COVID, gets hurt last year, and everybody wants to say, "Oh well, he can't play a full season." And it's like, we had this thing, we had this thing where everybody said you don't have to play. If you don't want to play, don't play. And a lot of people didn't feel up to it. So it's going to be you're going to see a lot of weird things. And that's why I preface this with, know the 3 that you're getting. Are you getting somebody who's evaluating the situation of your team? Or are you getting somebody who's just predicting the player?
Yeah.
Because to me, a predictor, it doesn't help. All right, so you think this guy's going to go 3rd? Why? Why should they go? Why would they go 3rd? Why would they be a good fit for said program?
And those 2 questions are what a lot of analysts, quote unquote, don't answer. All right, we're coming to the end of the road here, but Chris Dietz, thank you for joining me. 9 p.m. Eastern for Fifth Down Sports.
9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be getting into a lot of the draft stuff, breaking down the big board. The big board is made, so we'll be talking about that, breaking down the positions, and we'll start a little bit. We'll start in a little bit on the teams.
And next Thursday, Chris and I will definitely kick off our draft coverage. And boy, it's going to be intense. It's going to be intensive, and it's going to be a lot of information. So y'all be ready. And we're going to do this right. Thinking everything, thinking about everything that Chris said today. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, buddy.
Chris Dietz joining me here on the program. And we're getting ready to get out of here because
what do I do? I'll leave the studio.
Is wait till next week to start posting the audio podcast on Odyssey and iHeartRadio because I still don't have the system together here yet. But be that as it may, we got a lot done today. The video was great. I had a few hiccups on my end, pressing the wrong buttons, and I apologize for that. We're driving towards getting some new upgraded equipment so everybody can hear all the sound bites, the intros, the outros, and everything that's going on. We're presented by Michael Scott Insurance. We're part of the OnTap Podcast Network, as well as Real Wise Radio and Arena Sportsnet. Until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, when Cole joins me for the full 2-hour run, and when we welcome David Glenn during hour 1, and Chris Bass, the one and only Chris Bass, will join us during hour 2, and everything comes via video. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move, and always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, then they are not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. I am, and I hope you all are too. Until the Fantastic Friday edition, we're out of here. See you tomorrow.